Okay, so let's unpack this. Imagine that sleek Android phone you carry everywhere, the one you use for apps, calls, scrolling. What if I told you it's actually capable of far, far more than you realize? I mean, beyond just the usual stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's really true.
Yeah.
One of Google's quietest yet, well, pretty significant innovations recently has been baking Linux terminal support right into Android. Specifically, if you're a Pixel user on the latest stable version, you can enable this, and it effectively opens up this entirely new world of possibilities.
Right. And what's truly brilliant, I think, is that it's all inside a virtual machine. So it's like a completely separate, self-contained sandbox inside your phone.
Exactly. Anything you do in there, experimenting, maybe you mess something up, it stays isolated. It won't touch your main Android system or your
Right.
personal data.
Which makes it, yeah, like our source says, the perfect playground. Now, okay, you might look at that black screen, maybe see some text scrolling by and think, playground, really? But trust us, it is.
Yeah, this deep dive is based on a fantastic piece, Adventures with Linux Terminal on Android by Andy Walker, a tech journalist. And our mission today is really to demystify those, seemingly random lines of text and explore the useful, maybe the not so useful, and definitely the downright fun ways you can actually use this powerful feature. We're going to break it down.
Make it make sense. And speaking of you listening in, we saw the poll results from the source material, and wow, they were fascinating. A full 41% of people are thinking about enabling this feature,
Yeah,
and an impressive 32% already have it running.
it's a huge
That's
interest.
just a big wave of curiosity. So as we dive in, which group do you fall into? Thinking about it or already tinkering? So, okay, that black screen. The terminal, it can look daunting, right?
Good fun.
For someone just starting, where do you even begin? How do you make sense of it?
Well, what's really cool is the terminal itself is kind of your first guide. You don't need to go far. There are two essential commands you'll want to remember right off the bat: help and man.
Oh, okay. So help is like the phone book for the terminal. You tape it, get a list of commands.
Pretty much, yeah. It gives you that broad list of what's available. Great starting point for just exploring, poking around.
Okay, and then when you see something in that list, like L's or something, and you want to know more, that's where man comes in.
Exactly. Man stands for manual.
Yeah.
It gives you these incredibly detailed manual pages for specific utilities and commands. So like your example, if you type man L's, you get this whole in-depth explanation of the L's command, what it does, all its options.
Which lists directory contents, right?
Right. So the strategy is simple. Use help to see what's out there, then use man to really understand a specific command you're curious about. It's like having, a built-in encyclopedia.
Got it. Help for the overview, man for the details. Makes sense. Now that we have the basic navigation tools, let's talk about actually managing the system itself, this virtual Linux environment. What are the sort of must-know commands for keeping it running smoothly, updating things?
Good question. Well, just like your regular phone apps need updates, your virtual Linux environment does too. You'll mainly use sudo apt update and then sudo apt upgrade.
Okay, apt. What's apt exactly?
Think of apt like the Google Play Store or the App Store, but for your Linux environment here. It's the package manager. It handles finding, installing, and updating all the software inside this virtual space.
And sudo. That sounds important.
It is. Sudo basically means super user do. It's your way of telling the system, hey, I have permission to do this potentially sensitive thing.
Yeah.
It gives you administrator rights just for that specific command, which lets you make system-level changes, like installing or updating software securely.
Okay, so apt is the store manager, sudo is the permission slip, I get it. And installing new stuff is just sudo apt install and then the name of the package.
Yep, simple as that.
Cool. What about keeping the screen tidy? I can imagine typing a lot of commands makes it messy.
Oh yeah, it can get cluttered fast. For that, just type clear. It wipes the screen clean, gives you a fresh slate, like hitting reset on the view.
Nice. And if a program is running and you want to stop it, like if you accidentally start something weird.
The universal escape hatch is usually CTRL-C. Hold down Control and press C. That'll stop most running programs in the terminal.
Okay, help, man. Sudo apt, update, upgrade, install, clear, and CTRL-C. Those seem like a really solid foundation.
They really are. Those few core commands will genuinely get you a long, long way.
All right, so we've got the absolute basics down, navigation, updates. Let's move beyond just, managing the environment. What are some of the really powerful or or just interesting things people are actually doing with this?
This is where it gets really fun. You can start by using system info tools to like peek into the hood of that Debian virtual machine running on your Pixel. There's NeoFetch, which gives you this nice quick visual overview of your system specs inside the VM.
Oh, neat, like a little summary screen.
Exactly. And if you want real-time updates, like what's using RAM, what's hitting the CPU, then HTOP is your go-to. It's basically a command line task manager showing detailed info on resource usage, RAM, CPU power, all that.
Okay, and getting those is just another sudo apt install. So sudo apt install neofetch and sudo apt install htop.
Yep. Install them once, then just type neofetch or htop and hit enter to run them anytime.
It's genuinely that simple to get this, like, X-ray view into your phone's virtual brain. That's cool.
And thinking bigger picture, maybe one of the most useful ways to use the terminal on your phone is network control using SSH, Secure Shell.
SSH.
This lets you securely log into and manage other devices on your network.
Okay, now that sounds powerful. So you could be, I don't know, on the bus
Yeah.
and connect back to your home network to tweak something, like a server or,
Exactly. Like if you've built yourself a Pi hole for ad blocking across your network.
right, the Raspberry Pi thing.
Yeah. Or maybe you have a homemade NAS, network attached storage for your files.
Yeah.
You can now securely log into those devices and manage them right from your phone. It turns your phone into this ultimate portable sysadmin toolkit.
Wow. No need to run to a computer, you just SSH in.
Yeah. And it's not just for specialized things like a Pi hole. You can SSH into almost any machine, including your regular desktop computer.
Okay, that really does transform your phone. It's a remote control for your whole network, basically.
Pretty much. Whether
Yeah.
you're on the couch or miles away, to get started, you just sudo apt install. Simple.
Overkill again. Okay, now here's one I saw in the source that seemed really cool, maybe a bit unexpected. Turning your terminal into a personal secret notebook. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, it's a fantastic idea. And the source highlighted Nano as a great tool for this. Nano is a really common, pretty easy to use text editor that runs entirely within the terminal. You install it with, you guessed it, sudo apt install Nano.
Okay, and then you just type nano to run it.
Yep. And you can start typing. Take notes, jot down ideas. The value is that it's super quick, saves things as plain text files right there in the VM storage. Easy to save, easy to recall.
So notepads without needing another app or cloud sync, just plain text right there.
Exactly. Perfect for quick thoughts, maybe some journaling, even stacking code snippets. All private, right on your device.
I like that. Simple, effective. All right, we've covered practical stuff, insightful system views, but what about just plain old fun? Because, I mean, the command line doesn't exactly scream entertainment, but the source mentioned games.
It's true. It might seem a bit counterintuitive playing games with just text commands on a small screen.
Yeah.
But terminal games honestly have this unique charm. Bastet, for example. It's a Tetris-like block stacking game.
Oh, like a text-to-based Tetris?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The source mentioned it was one of the first things they learned on Linux way back when.
Yeah.
And apparently it's still a blast, even if the Pixel 8 screen feels a bit cramped for it. It can be a little awkward, but fun.
And how do you get that one?
Just sudo apt install Bastet.
Okay. And there were others mentioned too, right? Like a whole little arcade?
Yeah. With similar sudo apt install commands, you can grab Pac-Man 4 console.
A command line Pac-Man, no way.
Yep. And Moonbuggy, which is a classic side-scroller. Nisnake for the, well, Snake fans. And Invaders for a bit of Space Invaders nostalgia.
That's amazing. Pure retro gaming, right there in the terminal.
And speaking of nostalgia and visuals, you can literally step into the Matrix.
Wait, what? How?
There's a utility called Scrape Matrix. You install it, sudo apt install Matrix, then just run it by typing Matrix. And your entire terminal window transforms into that iconic scrolling green code screen for the movie.
Oh, that is brilliant. Like instant 1999 vibe.
Totally. Takes you right back.
Man.
And to stop it, just hit CTRL-C again. It's a great little visual trick.
Love it. Okay, what else? There was something about a cat.
Ah, yes. Leaning into early 2010s pop culture now. Nyan Cat.
The Pop-Tart cat with the rainbow? You can get that in the terminal.
You absolutely can. Turn your Pixel into a Nyan Cat display.
Oh.
Sudo apt install Nyan Cat.
Right.
Then just type Nyan Cat and hit enter. And you'll get the little flying Pop-Tart encased feline with the rainbow trail right there on your screen.
That is delightfully absurd and completely wonderful. A perfect example of the fun side of this.
Totally.
Okay, now, for the really adventurous listeners, the source talked about stress testing your Pixel using the terminal. Why would someone want to do that? Is it just to see if you can make it really hot? Or is there a point?
Well, Yeah, it can definitely make it warm, but there's a real purpose. Stress testing a system is a standard way to check its stability under heavy load, see how it handles heat dissipation, and just confirm components are working correctly at their limits. And while you can maybe find Android apps that do this, doing it via the terminal gives you, I think, more direct control and insight. It's more engaging.
Right, you see exactly what's happening. So how do you do it? Need a special tool.
Yep, there's a tool literally called Stress. First, sudo apt install Stress.
Okay, got the tool. Now, how do you actually, apply the stress,
Yeah.
specifically to the CPU?
The command structure is like this. Stress QPU number of SUPIS timeout duration in seconds. So the source used a Pixel 8 as an example, which has 9 CPU cores.
9 cores, okay.
So to stress test all 9 cores for 60 seconds, the command would be stress QPU 9 timeout 60.
And you just hit enter
Yeah,
and watch your phone sweat.
pretty much.
Right.
And to actually see what's happening, you can open HTOP in a second terminal tab. You can then switch between the tabs and watch an HTOP as those CPU cores all ramp up to 100% usage and stay there for that minute.
Wow, okay. Now the obvious question, should you really do this? Especially if you have a phone known for maybe getting a bit warm anyway.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Probably not something you want to do for extended periods on certain models. But as a quick test, it's a really interesting way to understand the raw power your device actually has packed inside. Fun, nonetheless, as the source puts it.
Okay. So we've gone from basics to system info, remote control, notebooks, games, pop culture, even stress tests. But as incredible as all this already is, the source makes a really important point. This is like just the beginning for the Linux terminal on Android.
Absolutely. What's really exciting looking forward is that right now, users mostly have this text-based portal into the Debian VM. But Google actually has plans, longer term, to allow running full-scale graphical Linux apps on Android, especially when it's in desktop mode.
Whoa. Okay, that's a game changer. Like real Linux apps with Windows and everything running off your phone.
That's the vision. Turning your phone into potentially a true desktop replacement for certain tasks. It's really exciting. But even right now, for most people, the terminal is this fantastic learning and experimenting tool. And for developers or power users, it's already an incredibly potent, genuinely portable development toolkit that fits right in your pocket.
And it's not just theory, right? People are already pushing this. The source mentioned graphical interfaces.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, isn't it, how much power we carry around. Some users have already figured out how to install full desktop environments like XFCE or others, essentially turning their pixels into tiny Linux workstations.
Seriously, like with a mouse cursor and Windows running inside that terminal app?
Through some cleverness, yes. And we even hear about people getting classic games like Doom running directly via the terminal environment.
Doom. Of course, if it has a screen.
It'll run Doom eventually, right?
Yeah.
It really hammers home the point.
Yeah.
The possibilities are often just limited by imagination and, well, technical know-how. This feature is genuinely unlocking way, way more than most people probably realize their phone could do.
So, wow, we've really covered a lot. We've taken this deep dive into the Linux terminal on Android, explored everything from the practical system stuff, remote access, to the fun, the nostalgic, even pushing the hardware limits. Hopefully this whole discussion has given you, our listener, the insights and maybe the confidence to start experimenting yourself to really understand this powerful feature.
Yeah, definitely. And we'd strongly encourage you to keep exploring. Look up guides, read tutorials, check out forums. There's so much more depth.
Indeed. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With Google hinting at future developments, maybe community contributions, what unexpected, useful, or maybe just downright fun things could you come up with? How could you leverage this Linux terminal to make your phone your own unique portable powerhouse? Something to think about.